Hello and welcome back to my channel. I just ran upstairs to record away from the kids and the husband, so I'm out of breath, and I'm 29 weeks pregnant. So anyways, today I am making Fruity Loops soap, and I am using the heat transfer method for my coconut oil, my shea butter, and my palm oil. Now I'm adding the liquid oils to the rest of them, which consists of olive oil, black currant seed oil, and castor oil. Also, I don't know who all knows, but shortly after recording my last video, I got corona. Well, yeah. And I was sick for about 2.5 weeks. It was pretty rough. So I'm feeling a lot better. I've been better for a couple of weeks now, and I'm back at making soap. And there's titanium dioxide to make the milk portion of my soap for the Fruity Loops. But yeah, I ended up getting it. My dad got it. My sister got it. My mom got it. My other sister got it. My brother-in-law got it. So that was fun. But we are all recovered and we're all fine. None of us had to be hospitalized. Now that that's all mixed in, I'm going to stir that in a little bit more because there is some, you can see some loose oils in there. And now I'm going to add a little bit of coconut milk, and what I did was I took an ounce of water out of my lye and just added an ounce of the coconut oil. And here is my fragrance. This fragrance did make my soap recipe, which is normally a really solid soap recipe. It made it sticky. And when I unmolded it, it was still quite sticky and Play-Doh-y kind of feeling. So just know that if you're going to use the Nature's Garden Fruity Loop, it might not bother your batch though, depending on your recipe. Alrighty, so let's stick blend that a little bit to make sure it's all well incorporated. You guys know the drill. I decided to throw in some little memes and gifs, well, not gifs, but memes. So anyways, so I'm going to be using my 2-pound mold, but the embeds that I'm going to use are like 6.6 ounces worth, so I had to take that much out of my batch so that it didn't overflow. And I'm going to be adding those little, now those are actually mini donuts. I got a mini donut mold, and those are like smaller than Lifesavers, or they're like the size of the hard ones, the candies. But yes, so I made those before I got sick, so that was fun. Alright, so here's where my mistake starts, is I pulled my 2.5 pound mold down from my shelf, and for some reason I thought it was my 2-pound mold, even though my 2-pound mold is way smaller. I guess I just wasn't thinking. So I forgot that this mold was cracked because I slammed it on the ground too hard to get air bubbles out. That's why the liner doesn't stick in it very well. So I'm pouring it. And, yeah, I'm starting to realize that there's a lot more, space in this, and the sides were not sticking, and I was just getting annoyed, like, hey, it was sticking last time I made soap, what's going on here? Well, it's because it was a different mold. So, as I go emptying it, I realize, whoops, this is the wrong mold. And if I would have known that, I could have kept the rest of the batter in, but of course, I'm making things harder on myself. And I hope you guys like The Office, because I do. And I just wanted to throw some of that in there. Oh, because it makes me laugh. Okay, so I safely got it in there, not without getting soap down my arm, which you'll see on the back of my arm when I start scraping and stuff. I didn't realize I had it on my arm until I started feeling burning, which is always great when you're pregnant. All right. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Yeah, I didn't think about it. I could have used all of the embeds and all of my batter in my 2.5 pound mold, and I didn't think about that until I poured it into this mold. So then I just decided, hey, I'm not going to pour it back into the big mold. I'm already committed to this mistake. I feel you, Michael. So I clean this out as much as I can. And let me tell you, cleaning the raw soap batter is so annoying. Alright, and now here's these are my Fruit Loops that I'm putting on top, and I measured out the amount of Fruit Loops to go on top for my bigger mold. I just used like the lid of the mold and like laid them out how I wanted them to go. So that changed. So I kind of had to improvise, which is fine. I just like using this 2-pound mold. I would like to get a slab mold, just because the designs you could do with a slab mold are different than just like a little tiny single mold. It's hard to get a spatula down in to do layers with these smaller molds, but I still really enjoy it because mostly I just sell to family and friends, so I don't have like a large business where I need to make 50 bars of a soap. I would never sell all of them. It would take forever. So I like to do a lot of small batches of different soaps. That way I have more variety, but less bars of each option. And this is edible glitter. Well, it's edible glitter. And it comes in that little mister bottle. I got it from the food section, or like the cake decorating section of the store. And it just adds a little shimmery glaze. Yep, put on a brave face, because that was a disaster. So, this is the next day. This was actually just 5 minutes ago for me. And I'm cutting the soap. Now you're going to see like little bumps and ridges because the embeds were still much harder than my soap was. And that's due to that fragrance oil. I hate when fragrance oils do that because my soap recipe is very specificulated. That's not a word. I made it specific, very specific when I formulated it with percentages and stuff. So it's kind of a bummer. And I could have added sodium lactate, but I last minute decided not to, and that was my bad. So I'm going to have to plain and bevel these probably in like a week because they're way too soft still. But here's a side shot of the uncleaned bars. kind of funky looking. And my favorite is the tops, and they will be planed and beveled and nice and cleaned up before I take my final pictures and all of that. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.